These guys definitely they're competitive. Got the competitive nature still there. Slobbing the shit out of everybody. Oh.
Rhoda.
Oh, did you ride? Oh, okay. This is like old home.
That's the idea.
Yeah, well, Raul had the right idea. Where did Buddy go? Where you go, man? Now I'm trying to wait. I hear you, brother. How you been? Alright. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. It's alright, bro. It's all good?
Oh my goodness. Oh, let's see, it's 1973, gas is $1, and I got next. I'm 20.
Hey, I said to him, I watched a few of your points. You got something left in the tank. You're still swinging like, you know.
Yeah, you do.
I was telling him, I said, your mind still goes back. If we used to play certain ways, I think I killed a ball. But being that...
I remember you driving it more than killing it.
Well, you drive to get a point. You drive it here so the man can move out of the way, and the next shot is yours. You see?
Yeah, you set him up with the drive.
Yeah, because, you know, or
it's like the difference between like a boxer and a puncher.
I remember, you
know?
Say, let's all the way.
I don't know about that.
Are you going to play today?
No. I reached the point of diminishing returns with handball some time ago. And I acknowledge it. No, I love, no, it's not that I couldn't get it. It's just I didn't enjoy it as much as the pink ball. Pink ball had so much more personality.
See, he has the etiquette way of saying, after he finished putting big words that he didn't enjoy, I'll put it this way, we all had skills that we could use. The blue ball came out, drop shot, ace, you can't really put it past anybody, like you said. What the pink ball allowed you to do, only you could do it. You could hook it.
How many people dropped off it?
It had a skin. That pink ball was made from real rubber. That's why they died. They became a dinosaur because it became cost ineffective, too expensive.
So he's right in a way because you haven't seen it when blue ball came. I just like
these new blue balls that I see them playing with now are live here though.
They are. And they got a Pen Pro, which is a little bit more bouncier. They're like red. You can get them in blue, but they're mostly red.
But where do you just get them at Modell's?
Yeah, you can get them online.
Online, okay.
And you just look for Pen Pro. And
back in the day, we used the pink ball wasn't enough. We used to prop it up with air.
Yeah.
Guys like Jose and there were a few specialists, and you'd get like a really good ball, you know.
Yeah. They still play pump ball in certain parks. Yeah, they do.
Well, now, what I understood, the pink ball was a rack was a tennis ball. And the reason why they stopped making them because Spalding got computerized, so they didn't have that many regions. The ball we played with, because Jose used to get them from the factory. The ball and Jerry, remember Jerry at Brooklyn? Jerry was Brooklyn, Jose was Manhattan about a pink ball.
Was it Jerry? Was there an Irish guy named Danny, I thought? Jerry, I don't know.
No, from St. John's. But that's the reason. We used to call the company, they give them 6
Remember
boxes.
Pensy Pinkies?
Perfect.
How old are you?
60. You know, I remember.
60 what?
64.
Oh, you're a fucking baby.
Pinky Pinky had the emblem like a Heinz ketchup bottle.
All right.
Right? There you go, look like Heinz ketchup bottle.
Those were actually better than Spalding's. Those were actually a slightly better quality.
True Bounce, like I said.
Which one?
Pensy
Pinky.
That was before the Pinky.
Before.
In the 50s, in the late 50s and the early 60s.
But then again, if you had an ace, it would not be the ace. This one, you throw your arm out, people getting surgeries, Tommy Jones, and they're 20-something. You're trying to ace a ball that's with no air. It's like you're trying to ace a ping pong ball.
Yeah. But there are more bouncier versions of the blue ball now. There are.
Okay.
There's definitely bouncier versions. Like,
It makes sense because it makes the game more interesting. It's you know, it takes better like hand-eye coordination. Your reflexes have to be better.
you have to be faster.
Well, that was the
But that people, remember, someone with a good serve, like an Angel, or, I mean, like he would serve the ball like a couple of inches off the floor
So, you say...
and just past the long.
Where was your home park?
West Fourth. I was one of the only players who West Fourth was my home park. I lived just across Washington Square Park.
Oh, nice.
I still have that apartment.
Oh, wow. When they made the Will Smith movie.
Which
Will
one?
Smith. When the world came to an end and he was the only one left on it.
I'm not sure I know that.
Yeah, that's right across from the park. There's a circle where he had his apartment.
Wow.
But, remember that Will Smith movie? Remember, you had the dogs there. Science fiction movie, but the whole scene, you can see the statue at West Fourth Street, you can see the panorama. Right across with those walk up the park, that's where you were in the movie. Right there. Yeah. Google Will Smith movie. You see like the end of the world or something days, it was just him and his dog.
Yeah, I sort of think I know what you're talking about, but I don't know that I ever watched the whole movie.
Oh, but that was the thing. That's where he lived all through the movie.
It's a nice neighborhood, that area.
So you're not moving that way, you own it?
No, I'm rent stabilized, but they've been trying to evict me for over 3 years now.
3 years after the 30
For 3 years now, huh?
After the 30.
How do they do that? I don't think they can.
It's because I also have a house in Brooklyn, so that's where I live most of the time. I mean, the truth is that I don't relate to the city anymore the way I once did. It's not the same, especially with COVID. The energy has changed, the vibe has changed.
You know when it's time to
My
go
apartment is right on 5th Avenue and 9th Street.
Oh, great area.
I'm gonna move. My rent is stabilized at under $700 a month.
Yeah, you don't want to leave.
And before I moved into the building in '76 with my girlfriend, and I moved into the apartment I still have in '77. In like '71 or '72, Stevie Wonder lived in that apartment.
Wow. It's amazing.
And I took it because of that. I could have had an apartment with a terrace instead of this shitty little studio. But because Stevie Wonder lived there, I said, oh, that must be the one for me.
Well, you got to keep that where you are.
Nice shot.
But I'm so happy. My house in Brooklyn is 2 miles from the ocean.
Oh, that's great.
Every morning.
She found it. I am like,
Ah, yeah, okay. There we go.
right there.
Did you research the system?
I can afford one now.
Nice shot.
Talking about memories. I almost never played in tournaments outside of West Fourth. I played in Sunset Park a couple of times. I played in St. John's one time when you were playing with Buddy. And I remember you were playing against, I don't remember what team.
I think it was Angel and Dino. Remember Dino?
I remember George and Dino from the Bronx. Like Lefty George, who was a policeman. And Dino was the guy who always wore a sweatsuit in 90 degrees summer.
Adidas sweatsuit. Yeah, Adidas sweatsuit. I never knew if he had arms or legs. No one knows.
There are some guys that come to the courts. It's 90 degrees. Plus, they're wearing jeans. It's like, that's heavy. And playing in them, no less.
So in that tournament in St. John's, I forget, some team was beating you and Buddy stops the game and goes around and gets as many people as possible. He did something like you were way out of the game. And he like bet anyone who would bet him. And he went on a tear. You know, he was one of those guys who could just do that. He had that ability.
Did we win the game?
Yeah, you won. He won.
People mention games, but 3,000 games over 30.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah, over the years, you know, you really don't know.
Yeah, you wonder to yourself, how many actual handball games have I played since I started? It's definitely, if you're a handball player, in the hundreds. If you're a real handball player, maybe in the thousands.
Like my favorite summer, Angel and Dave Melendez were the top doubles team in the city. And my partner, Ricky Thomas, he and I were like their sparring partners. We played them hundreds of times.
Wow.
And I was thinking, like, if I asked Ricky how many times we won, he would say we won 55%. If I asked Angel would probably say we won maybe 15%. If I asked Dave, he might say like, you know, 40 or something. I mean, I don't remember, but I know it was always close, and it made me a better player playing against them.
You were playing in the club where everybody came. And you would go there if it wasn't because you just had busted off a lot of games of money. And you saw that, or you saw the games that they were playing. See, it's not like the blue ball where you figure you have a chance because they volley so much. You think, I can hit it. All you have to do is make contact. But first of all, they're going to shoot, they're going to kill the whole thing. Like in the game here. It's amazing when you get older, I see killers coming. You see it on the game. Because there it is, it's going. When you got to set up and kill. And with me, if I do it, it's only one attempt.
It is so much as anticipation and timing.
Yeah, it's the knees though too. The knees and the hips, you feel them. You're like, oh my God, my knees are not as endurant as they were.
You got to bend, you got to be level with the point. You know,
Yeah.
You might do it once or twice. Like when I shoot the ball from way over there, I'm down there, I get level to the ground, I'm just going to swing. It should hit somewhere low, but I'm not coming back up there again. I'm just on my way down, go for it, and that's a one-time thing.
Well, it's good to see all these guys come out and play. It really is. These guys got good precision.
Those were good times. They really were.
Yeah, even the watch is fun. I mean, I like to play. I mean, I'd rather play than film, but to watch, especially when you know there's a lot of memories behind all these guys.
You know what? I have this. I should have told him. I have this crazy. I know if you like. Do you like jazz? Do you like jazz? Do you know who Jaco Pastorius is? You know who Jaco Pastorius is? Jaco Pastorius. He played for Weatherly.
Wow.
Originally Joe Solomon, who played with Handball. You know the song.
Nice shot.
That was written by Joe Solomon. He left Handball.
Yeah, I got that. It's crazy.
More like a jazz rock fusion thing. And there was this guy named Jaco Pastorius. He played the bass. If you look it up online, you'll see that stuff. Like no one in the world. Maybe the greatest. He played the bass like it was a lead instrument. But he came to West 4th Street when he was, and I would see this guy and I didn't know who he was. He would have this long hair and he would have two girls braiding it for him and he would be fucked up. Drunk, stoned, yeah, that's what, and he would, I didn't know who he was. He would stumble onto the court, you know, he would get really high and he would stumble onto the court and we'd be playing for money. the guys who wanted to kill him. And like 3 or 4 times, like I like kept him from getting me. And I would walk him off and stuff. And then one day he says to me, I'm performing this club on 13th Street and 5th Avenue. I forgot the name of it. It's like this Western thing. And like I said, I didn't even know who he was. But I lived on 5th Avenue and 9th. Okay. So I went to see him. And he was this guy who was, like, who you knew wasn't long for this world. And he died shortly after he got killed in Florida. But I went to see him perform. It's behind you on the right.
So he was the Hendrix of the bass guitar.
That's a good way to describe that.
Wow.
Like no one else played, no one played like him before or since. But I was standing like in the back of the crowd because I'm 6'4" and he's up on the stage. And he's playing and he's in some kind of zone and our eyes lock. And he looks at me and he's like, yeah, I can do this. Like, I'm not just the guy who's falling down to, you know, save from getting his ass kicked. And I'll never forget that moment. Yeah, it's like, look what I can do.
We would have heard about him had he lived longer since things happened. People get bigger, they do different things.
He made a mark in music. I mean, if you look up his name, Jaco Pastorius, look up Weather Report, you'll see. Like,
that hit him. That hit him.
Well, that was the era of people explored their good things. So, you know,
I went to college in 1966, so I'm very familiar.
You tell me.
I'm a little older than you, but
I must have read it in a book somewhere, right? You're like,
well, you put enough of the fumes.
you're trying to read through the study when all the fumes are coming in the room. Right? Is it a fire in every day or what? Okay.
Those were crazy years, but like this game was like for me. I mean, I played.
Wow, what a shot!
Before, but only when I got to West 4th Street.
Great lob.
Did I, you know? Yeah, that's Jaco. Amazing guy. I'm telling you, if he stopped, wasn't paying you right now for research, I might have something.
Wow. These guys are diving.
Yeah, your body says go for it. Even if once you get down there, you may not know what to do, but your body says go.
Yeah.
Hand and eye coordination. Yeah, he's gonna sit in here. We'll find out.
These guys made me remember old stories.
Wow!
One of my favorite stories was see the guy standing with the Yankees t-shirt.
Nice shot!
He was playing. He and Al had just won the doubles championship. They had just beaten Angel and Dave, and they were the #1 ranked team. And in the next tournament they played at West 4th, Ricky and I met him in the semifinals, I think, and we beat him. It was a close game, and we got a little lucky. I remember I hit a short or a long, and on my second serve, I just served it up. It hit the long line and bounced over their head.
Oh boy.
And I was like, okay, we're going to win. And I got up and served the game out. Like 6 months later, a year later, I don't remember, like they come to me and he says, remember that game where in that tournament where you and Ricky beat us? After the game, they left the park, they went to 42nd Street, they went to see some karate movie, and they ripped out the last 3 rows of the theater.
Look what you did to them.
Here's the thing about getting older. It took me to stop playing handball when I was little.
To play.
The only thing you said you got to playing somebody. Here and there.
No, you're right. The dialogue is limited.
You never, knew we might have liked the same.
Right.
What, if you not play here or next, and then we're playing over there. Like, next year, remember that.
That's it. That's the extent of it. What's the score?
Actually, yeah. Actually, yes.
What's the score, guys? 11-9? You didn't get back on it, bro?
Little word, signing.
It's a long game. It's 20 minutes. It's 11-9. These guys are battling it out. This guy's got power, though. This guy with the gray, he's still got power.
See, when I play, it's just, okay, like they say, experience. I see somebody do something.
Sal, you're not Pebbles, right? That was like a Pebbles move.
After this, where's the power? How is he killing me with that? And that's basically how I live. If I can do that to his opposite. And now I need skill to run in and try to kill it because he's going to give it to you instead of correct. And that's looking at the next time.
Yeah, 100%.
I have to go serve deep. I know the boys try to serve deep. I don't know how that happened. He's standing over there serving the back there and giving us. I don't think that was. I serve in the middle and I got it back. I serve back and forth and they do the obvious mistake. Go forward.
What's the name of these guys that are on the back?
That foul, I'm not sure his name. He's from this town.
Wow! Yeah?
To sleep.
To dive like that?
That's what he does. Going that. That's Sal's game.
He likes to.
He's built to do that.
Yeah.
He's not going to step in and kill. He's going to dive and kill. Go check it.
All right. Wow. Yeah, where is he? Is he back here? Oh, good. Good. He was so excited to come here. He almost didn't want to come. He's like,
I went to touch her. She said,
Thank you.